Alrighty, welcome to another tutorial. Today we will be talking about mastering hardstyle, and how you can actually develop your own mastering chain that you could apply to any of your tracks. First thing I want to say is that you shouldn't actually master your own tracks, because it's always good to have someone who knows different things about the technical issues and so on. So someone else who can objectively look or listen to your tracks will probably will probably hear things and find things that you can't find, because you're just used to them and just kind of see them as something off the track itself, and don't really distinguish maybe it's annoying character or something. So that's why I think it's good not to master your own tracks, but you will anyway do it, as I do it myself. So the compromise would be to after you mix down, just to throw the track somewhere and just leave it there for 2 or 3 weeks, and after that time of waiting, or doing something else, you can start mastering, because then you might have a different pair of ears. With that, you're gonna listen to the track. Right, let's get started. So actually I have put the mastering chain already, so I will go through and explain everything. That's easier than just creating the new mastering chain. So I'll switch off first everything, so don't feel distracted by any of these. I'll explain everything and go through. So okay, one more. Okay, all right. The first thing you should do is, of course, listen to the track. And the problem now is that I have already applied linear phase cues that will increase the waiting time until you hear anything just by an incredible amount. So you have to be a bit patient, because you will just have to wait until you hear something. It's kind of a delay that occurs. So we'll listen to the first build up, actually to the second build up and the climax drop a bit, so you have an idea of what the build up sounds like and what the drop sounds like, and we'll actually work on the drop only, and hope that the rest will sound nice later. So you usually pick the loudest part of a track and master that one, and then hope that everything else sounds cool too. So first get an impression of what the track sounds like.
That being a good soldier comes down to one thing, to one single question. What are you prepared to sacrifice?
Right, that's it. Yeah, it was a bit loud, I'm sorry. Okay, so now you have an impression of what the track sounds like, and you should also know that I like using reference tracks. So in this case I'm using the tweakers and Kuhn and Deco to reference, and I do that in order to just make sure that I'm kind of in the right direction. So yeah, I choose my reference tracks by just favor. So I actually like Fate a lot. It's a really good track. I like the mixing and mastering of the track, so it really sounds good. And tweakers, I usually choose tweakers because they kind of manage to get the kick very clear in the mix. So I'll just give you the example. Compare that to Kuhn later, and you will see that the tweakers kick is always very, very clear in the mix. Okay, let's check out the Kuhn now and listen to the kick again, and you will see the kick is not that clear. So yeah, that's why I use that, and deco, I like deco because I just like deco. Yes, so the first thing I usually do is I apply an equalizer using FabFilter Pro Q2, and in this case, you see I created a low cut. So the first thing I usually do is create a low cut and really closely listen on headphones until really nothing is going through. So the low cut here is at 29 Hertz. So which means there is just mud, which I'm just trying to cut off again, because if you later increase the volume, the gain with the limiter, it will be yeah, it could distract, or it could be annoying. It could cause some mud that you don't want. So that's why I decided making the low cut and the high cut as well. Yeah, and applying some plus 0.34 decibel here, and applying minus 0.25 decibel in the low end, because I just found the low end a tiniest bit too strong. Yeah, that's it. Because all these plugins will make the low end loud anyway, so it's no shame to reduce the low end a bit. And I actually tend to have a mix down that's got too much low end. So yeah. Yes, that's what it is. And the next thing, yeah, this is kind of mid boosting, so it's right next to the punch of the kick in the track, and this is just like I wanted to boost the higher mids around 1000 Hertz somewhere, just to have more fullness to support the stereo image a bit. So yeah, I'll switch it off. You listen again, and then I'll switch it on, and you'll probably hear a difference, but there is a lot of waiting time, so maybe you won't hear anything. Well, I could hear something, so a tiny difference, but yeah, it's not much anyway. Next thing is an audio effect rack. In this case, I used it as a dry wet, because this compressor doesn't have dry wet, and this is an emulation of the very famous 1176 from Universal Audio, or Urai in the 70s. So that's a nice one. I like the sound of it. Many people like the sound of it, and it's really a device that's being used anywhere. And the plugin is also quite nice, and it gets a nice sound. So I wanted to have some warmth in the track, and I add the warmth by just compressing a tiny bit, and actually mixing the compressed signal to the uncompressed signal, as you can see here. So -19 and 0. But in fact, yeah, you don't really hear a big difference, but it kind of adds a tiny bit of warmth, which I really need and like. So let's listen to this, and I'll switch it off again, and you might hear a difference. Yeah, it's really annoying that. Well, let's just switch off the linear phase for now. Switch it on later. It's everything is perfectly, so everything is tweaked perfectly, so it's no problem. switch it off and later switch it on again. Minimum phase, another one. Oh, that's it. Okay, now we should hear it instantly. Not yet. There's another. Yeah. 0. Everything should be on 0. Yeah. Now we can use. Now we can just listen to the change. And also, might want to listen to this. So I guess this one makes it everything a tiny bit cleaner, you know? This is adding warmth. Okay, next one is the Pultec. In this case, they call it Puiktec. This is an equalizer, tube equalizer, which is especially it's mid-range equalizer, and well, I use it because I like the sound of it. So that's the thing. You just add something because you like the sound, and mastering is not just putting a compressor, putting a limiter, putting an equalizer, putting a limiter, but it's just trying to find the right plugins, trying to find the right devices that enhance the sound. And I found this one nice, so I'm using it. And it doesn't really matter if you now compress first or put an equalizer first. Actually, what matters, well, I always put the equalizer first, but the sound is the only thing that you should judge with, you know. So take your ears, listen, and if you find that the equalizer after the compressor sounds better than in front of the compressor, then do it so. And that's how you should work. So mastering doesn't really contain special rules. Well, there are some rules, but you shouldn't do such curves in equalizing, you know. But well, I think that's kind of logical. So yeah, that's the thing. I use this because it kind of distorts a tiny bit, which sounds cool. I like it, and it gives some warmth again. So the whole track gets warmer again if you apply it. Just listen again. And you might question now, what's warmth? Well, warmth for me is like tiny bit of it's like the absence of high end, probably tiny bit. So you kind of you do have high end, of course, but it's kind of it's not sharp. So you take away the sharpness, the digital character of a track. So you want it to sound more analog, and you want it to sound like as if there were some kind of mistakes in the track, and that's what you want. That's what I like. So yeah, that's warmth for me. So another EQ, which is the mini American. In this case, I just increased the high end by 1 decibel at 10K with the shelf EQ. Again, just to boost the high end, because I found then there's some high end necessary, and just listen to what it does. So for me, it's kind of adding high end, but while adding high end, it's not taking the warmth away. And doing this with the FabFilter Pro Q would probably take the warmth away and give it the digital sound again. That's why I'm using this equalizer. Okay, the Kramer tape. Well, Kramer. This is something that's a bit more interesting. So we were just actually equalizing. So there's 3 equalizers and a tiny bit of compression. That's what we did so far. And you might now ask, why not to equalize everything here? So I could do everything here and omit this one and that one. But they do have different sounds, you know, so they emulate different equalizers, and that's why. So I do want the character of the Pultec and the the clean sound of the FAB filter, because I really have to do something technical, like getting rid of something. I do want the sound of the many Americans, so that's why I apply different equalizers. Next is the Kramer tape, which is tape emulation. So this is actually something that kind of pretends to be a tape machine. So you can actually distinguish by the appearance of this what it could be. So this emulates tape recording, and basically we just use the record level and the playback level, and the speed at 15 inches per second. So it's written there IPS, inch per second, and that's the speed of the tape. And the record level is the level which determines at what level you record any sound, and the playback level is the level that you actually play the sound that has been recorded on this magnet tape. So you just play it, you record here and you play there, and that's it. And the tape changes the whole character of the sound. It gives it lots of warmth and some crackles and noise and stuff that, and you can also add some wow and flutter, which is here, or some white noise. So you really get warmth using the tape, and you will instantly hear a big difference now when I switch off the tape again. So the tape really gives warmth and takes away the digital character. Well, one thing I should tell you, I wanted to tell you about the tape, because it's more or less important. The tape does have a delay, which is also really hearable. So there is a delay of 1 millisecond, and if I now put it into an effect rack like here, it would sound like shit because there would be a phase shifting. So the wet signal will be like a tiny bit slower than the dry signal, as there is a delay. Yeah. So and another thing that might be interesting for you is that the tape can be used as a compressor. That it actually is a compressor. It even is a limiter, because there is some kind of a limit that you can record with. So you can record at some volume. So you might want to record at minus 10 decibel or something, and you're inputting some signal, and well, if you raise the gain of the signal, there will be some point that the magnet tape can't actually take more of the signal, so it can't really take more gain. There's a limit. It can't really save the information of more gain, so it will distort if you do that, and that's really like a limiter. So I'll just show you now what happens if you push the record level. So it's at some point not getting louder but distorting. Okay, next thing I did was adding another EQ with a low cut, which is important here because the tape does throw out some low frequencies that you can't even hear, which are there again. So we already did a low cut here at 30 on 29. And you will hear that there are some new frequencies that are definitely coming from the tape machine. So maybe, you will be able, if you have very good headphones, to hear that. I will just play it for you. Wait, let me switch off the microphone for a second. Okay. Yeah, sorry. That was my finger again. So, that's the thing with the. So there's just another EQ, just changed a tiny bit because the tape did something here and there, which I had to balance out again. Okay, another EQ, which is now a mid-side EQ. So in this case, we are boosting the mids here and reducing the sides. So it means that we kind of getting rid of the stereo signal in the punch area where the punch of the kick is, and we're boosting the mids because the punch should be really hitting hard. And here we are boosting the sides a bit just to enhance the stereo again. So let's listen. You will just see there is a difference again. So the punch is getting, it's like getting clean, and you can hear it better in the mix. Okay, the next thing I did is adding isotope ozone 6 imager. So this thing actually, just enhances the stereo. So you can control the stereo using 4 bands in this case, and the last band, the low end, I just took down to get it mono, and then I just changed a bit, not much, just to get a tiny bit of stereo. You can see and you can hear the difference. There's a difference, but it's just trying out. Oh, yeah, this is now only the low end, which is now mono. Okay, that's it. Another thing, the next thing is the multi-band compression that I used to get the low end smooth and definite, dense and non-dynamic, not to have any peaks that would probably create some shit noise, you know. So that's actually preset, the basic 4-band punch and balance, and I just tweaked the attack times a bit and didn't do a lot. In this case here, this output was on plus 2.4, and I just reduced that as well because it was too loud. So I do want to have a balanced signal, and yeah, let's listen to this. Now it's of course getting a tiny bit quieter, but yeah, that's what we wanted. And because the compressor actually doesn't make anything louder, but yeah, more silent. And the last thing we'd apply would be the FF, the Pro limiter. But before we apply that, we have to go back to the linear phase mode in all these equalizers, because otherwise the limiter will do a shit job. And we have to go back to the linear phase because the linear phase works without any, or almost without any distortion. And distortion will just affect the low end, and you won't hear the punch properly or some other elements. And that's a very important thing. So the limiter is now working, and what I'm trying when I put the limiter, I try to get an LUFS at about -6, -5, which is like the average hardstyle drop LUFS. So you can use this WLM meter from Waves to get the right LUFS. And check out on the internet, on YouTube, what's LUFS. I don't want to explain everything now because there are some nice tutorials about that too. So just keep in mind in hardstyle -6, -5, -4, something around that. -6 would be nice for euphoric, I guess, and you find -3 or -4 in raw style or in hardcore or something. So, yep. Well, where from do I know it? Because I just took the reference tracks and put these LUFS meters on it. And there is a free LUFS meter. I don't know the name, but you can download it. Just Google it, free LUFS, and you will find it. So we can analyze, or we will analyze now, the Kuhn stereo image, the LUFS, and compare it to our mastered track. Okay, first let's listen to the fully mastered track, which is now, well, much louder. So I think I should reduce the volume first a bit. Let's look at Faye now. So, yes, this was Kuhn, the stereo image of Kuhn. This was the stereo image of Element Zero Sacrifice. And yeah, plus 11.9 will give us like -5 LUFS. So we are already louder than Kuhn. Well, regarding the LUFS. I think -5 is fine for that track. So now we should check out some other important thing, and I like to do that by recording, because I can see if it's cool and I can hear if it's cool simultaneously. So we now have done a lot of things to the track, but only in this area. So we need to check if it's nice here as well in the silent area. So we'll listen from here to probably somewhere there, and yeah, that will cover any volume that's in the track, and we can check if it's really nice and if everything sounds as it should sound, if the drop is coming properly and not too weak. Yeah, let's go, and I will record that meanwhile listening. Okay. Well, we could hear and see that the part where the lead is dropping in might be too loud. So there's not enough dynamics anymore. It sounds nice, everything. Overall, it sounds good, but I think it's too loud now. So what can you do in this case? Well, you would do something that now many people think is like, fuck, you can't do that, but you can, and that's what mastering engineers do. You will probably have to put a gain automation to get that right, which is okay, of course. But you can also, well, change the limiter because it might be too harsh. I guess the Kramer was at -6. So we will probably just get this to -6. Yeah, it's strange now because I had this in a rack which was a -6. I remember that. So let's get it back to -15, +15, and record that again, and probably this will have fixed our problem already. Okay, so it already looks better. So that wasn't the worst idea to do that. And I think also the waveform doesn't look bad. No. But, well, let's still just, well, I'm just browsing through for a sec just to check it out. Okay. But let's still create this gain automation that I was talking about right in front of the limiter. So you shouldn't, of course, do it like -10 to plus or something. So it should be about 2 or 3 just decibel. And we will do that like you can already see the drop, so which is this one. We already put the 0 dB there to the drops, and we'll just adjust. So this might be something as well. I don't know. Let's check it out. Sorry. Yeah, definitely. So let's put it there as well. And yeah, let's now create some automations that will, well, this one should also be loud. This is the DJ intro. So yeah, get that. And actually most of the fuck it. The DJ controllers and such stuff, they don't allow to set a cue here if you really have it on 0 seconds. So let's push that 2 bars to the right in order to be able for the DJ later to set a cue right on that one. Otherwise you can only set the cue here and then you will be out of time. So to be safe, let's put it there. I guess that's better. Okay, the DJ intro should be loud, so that's fine. Everything is fine. There is 0. So let's go down here a tiny bit. So I guess -2. This is just something I'll do by feeling now. Okay, and now we are fine here, and we can stay where we are here. And now this is kind of the build up, and the drop is there again. So I think we can move down right here where there is nothing. Let's move down to minus 2.4. Yeah, minus 2.4 also here. So, and this will now here slide up, and we won't even hear that there is an automation, so don't worry. Another automation, oops, 0, what did I do now? There it is, okay. So there's the next build up, and there's also the, yeah, there must be some. Okay, so we will go down to minus, well, let's see where we are going down. So we should do it like, so nobody will hear it. That's the hard thing about it. So let's go and put the 0, no, let's put it there. Put one there and get this down from probably here. This we don't need then. So let's, well, we do need it. Push it down to minus 2.4 again. So okay, that's cool. And I guess here we don't need so much because this doesn't seem to be that loud. So let it be from here to there to minus, well, minus 2 probably, or minus 1.8 or something like that. Okay, let's just try listen to one of them. Let's listen to this one or record this one to be sure that the automation is fine now. Or let's probably just, well, no, let's listen to this one, check it out, record it, of course, and we'll see if it's right.
That being a good soldier comes down to one thing, to one single question. What are you prepared to sacrifice?
Okay, I think that was nice. You see that now the dynamics are back, and we do still have a very strong hard drop, and this one is definitely not as loud as the drop anymore, which is perfect, which is the exact thing we wanted. And everything looks fine, I guess. So the waveforms look good. Well, I sometimes really look at the waveforms and just use them as a reference to see if something is good or not. So that looks cool. And yeah, I guess that's it. That's the mastering of Sacrifice by elementzero. And again, check out, if I didn't say that in the beginning, now I'm saying it again, and if not again, then I'm saying it for the first time. Anyway, check out his YouTube channel. I will put the link into the description. You can check out his music. He's a really good producer, honestly, and yeah, just support him and check out his music. So yeah, and thanks to you personally again that I could do this mastering tutorial on this really nice track. Okay, so see you next time. Oh no, just forgot one thing. Actually, I wanted to create a reverse bass tutorial. I'm working on it, I promise. It's not that easy to get the sound right for you guys so that you would understand it and really benefit from it. So that's why it will still take some time until I really get it nice. But I always say quality should be more valued than quantity, and that's why just stay tuned. The reverse bass will come for sure, and there will be also hardcore kicks coming, and other raw kicks and anything like that. But yeah, just give me the time to get it really nice and to get it really right for you. And yeah, that's it. All right.